Hollywood has been for decades the architect of our dreams and nightmares, taking us on journeys beyond the stars and showing us visions of space that have captivated our imagination. However, in this fascinating process of storytelling, myths and misunderstandings have been woven that have significantly shaped our perception of the cosmos. From loud explosions in the vacuum to asteroids that seem to be just around the corner, cinema has created an intoxicating mix of wonder and misinformation. Join us as we unravel the top 5 Hollywood myths about space, revealing the truth behind the big screen. And remember, if you are passionate about discovering the realities behind the most popular fictions, don't forget to subscribe for more content that will illuminate your understanding of the universe that surrounds us. Myth number 5. Loud explosions in space. One of the most spectacular effects in science fiction movies are the explosions. Huge fireballs, accompanied by a deafening roar. An image that has captivated audiences around the world. However, this is one of Hollywood's biggest myths about space. The reality is that space is an almost perfect vacuum, which means there is virtually no atmosphere. And this is where Hollywood deviates from science. On Earth, sound travels through the air as waves, which are vibrations of the air particles. When there is an explosion, these waves spread in all directions and eventually reach our ears, allowing us to hear the sound. But in space, where there is no air or other medium like water or earth to carry these waves, sound simply cannot propagate. So, if there were ever an explosion in space, it would be completely silent to any observer. There would be no deafening roar, or even the slightest whisper. The only thing that could be observed would be the visual expansion of the explosion, but without any sound tracker. This phenomenon is a fascinating reminder of how the laws of physics change drastically in different environments, and how sometimes reality can be stranger than fiction. Hollywood, in its quest to deliver spectacle and excitement, often opts to sacrifice scientific accuracy in favor of dramatization. But in doing so, it perpetuates myths like this one, which, although exciting, are far from the scientific truth of space. Myth number 4. Breathing on unknown planets without protection. Hollywood has made us believe in the possibility that humans can land on unknown planets and simply take off their helmets to breathe fresh air, as if they were in a park on Earth. This idea, though exciting, is far from reality. Earth's atmosphere is a unique mix of nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and other gases in proportions sustain human life. In the vast universe, the atmospheric conditions of other planets vary greatly, and the probability of finding one with an atmosphere identical to Earth's is extremely low. Most planets lack breathable oxygen, and many are filled with gases toxic to humans, such as ammonia or methane, not to mention differences in atmospheric pressure and extreme temperatures. Even on planets within the so-called habitable zone, where the temperature might allow for the presence of liquid water, there is no guarantee that the atmosphere would be breathable. Furthermore, exposure to radiation without proper protection is another significant hazard in many extraterrestrial environments. Earth's atmosphere and magnetic field protect us from most space radiation, but on other planets, without these defenses, we would be exposed to dangerous levels of radiation. In summary, the idea that we can simply land on an unknown planet and breathe freely without considering its atmosphere or environmental conditions is a myth that Hollywood has sold us. The reality is that space exploration requires careful preparation and protection against the hostile conditions of outer space. Myth number 3. Uniform gravity in spacecraft. Hollywood has led us to believe that inside spacecraft, gravity works exactly the same as on Earth, allowing astronauts to move, eat, and sleep without facing the challenges of weightlessness. However, this portrayal is far from reality. In space, far from the gravitational influence of a planet, microgravity is experienced, a state of constant free fall that causes objects and people to float. In real-life spacecraft, like the International Space Station, use complex systems to simulate gravitational conditions for the health of the astronauts. But these systems do not replicate Earth's gravity 100%. Astronauts in actual space must adapt to an environment where there is no up or down, and where the simplest tasks, like drinking water, become challenges that require ingenious solutions. Movies often overlook these complexities, opting for a simplified portrayal where characters walk, run, and sit as if they were on Earth. This choice may be for practical filming reasons or to facilitate the narrative, but it is far from the reality faced by astronauts in space. The next time you see movie characters moving with ease inside a spacecraft, remember that the true gravity of the situation is much more complex and fascinating. Myth number 2. Instant close encounters. Hollywood has led us to believe that traveling through space is as simple and quick as crossing the street. Science fiction movies and series often present us with spacecraft sailing across entire galaxies, encountering unknown planets and alien civilizations within hours or days. However, this portrayal is far from reality. In the vast void of space, the distances between celestial bodies are unimaginably large. Take, for example, the distance between Earth and our closest planetary neighbor, Mars, which varies between 54.6 million kilometers at its closest point and 401 million kilometers when they are on opposite sides of the Sun. Even with the most advanced space technology currently available, a trip to Mars from Earth would take about 7 months. Now, let's expand our gaze to the stars beyond our solar system. The closest star, Proxima Centauri, is an impressive 4.24 light-years away. This means that, even traveling at the speed of light, the journey would take more than 4 years. With current technologies, we're talking about thousands of years to complete such a journey. The idea of hyperspace jumps or warp drives that allow ships to cross galaxies in seconds is, for now, pure fiction. These concepts are fascinating and serve to create exciting and dynamic narratives, but they are far from being a scientific possibility in the near future. So, the next time you see your favorite heroes encountering a new alien civilization after a brief space journey, remember that, in the vast and silent space, distances are a formidable obstacle, and instant close encounters are, for the moment, just a Hollywood myth. Myth number 1. Dogfight-style space battles. Hollywood science fiction movies have gifted us with thrilling action scenes, with spacecraft diving, spinning, and dodging shots in exciting combats reminiscent of World War I aerial fights. However, these depictions are far removed from the physical reality of space. In the vacuum of space, there is no atmosphere that can offer resistance or allow ships to glide as airplanes would on Earth. The absence of an atmosphere means there is no friction or sound, so the dramatic explosions and roaring engines are purely a product of cinematic imagination. In space, the maneuvers and movement of ships are governed by the laws of Newtonian physics, specifically Newton's third law. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. This means that any change in direction or speed would require the expulsion of mass in the opposite direction, and not through agile turns and twists as seen on screen. Moreover, in space, once a spacecraft accelerates and reaches a speed, it will continue moving in that direction at that speed until an external force acts upon it, which contradicts the abrupt stops and instant direction changes we often see in movies. The reality of space battles, if they were ever to occur, would likely be much less visually spectacular, with maneuvers based on propulsion physics and the need to conserve fuel, rather than aerial acrobatics. Strategies would focus on orbital physics, relative positioning, and possibly the use of unconventional weapons that do not rely on explosions or projectiles as we understand them on Earth. In summary, although Hollywood's dogfight-style space battles may offer an exciting visual spectacle, they are far from being an accurate representation of what combat in the vacuum of space would be like. The next time you enjoy one of these scenes in your favorite science fiction movie, remember that the real battle is in adapting our terrestrial physical laws to the vastness of outer space. In our exploration of Hollywood myths about space, we have discovered how the line between entertainment and scientific reality can sometimes blur, leading us to misconceptions about the vast universe that surrounds us. However, it is crucial to remember that real knowledge of space, with its discoveries and mysteries based on science, can be as fascinating, if not more, than any cinematic fiction. By immersing ourselves in scientific facts, we not only enrich our understanding of the cosmos, but also feed our imagination with truths more astonishing than any Hollywood myth. Don't forget to subscribe to continue exploring together the line between reality and fiction, and to discover more about this incredible universe we live in.